Molweni nonke. Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this series. Today we're going to look at the past tense of the same sentences that we learned in part 1, and I'm going to show you how it gets a bit complicated in isiXhosa, but I hope that you can follow. So first of all, we need to look at the recent past, and with this I call it the recent past, although in textbooks they call it the past continuous. I don't like this term because you can't compare it to the English past continuous, where this name comes from, because in the English past continuous I was playing. There's a specific timeline here that what you're talking about didn't end yet, whereas in isiXhosa, if you use this bendifunda incwadi, it can also mean that it was completed. It doesn't have to be you were busy reading it when something else happened. So I'm going to just call this the recent past because it's quite different to something that you recount that happened in your childhood or very long ago. So with ukufuna, we need to have this bendi or beni, etc. Prefix for I was wanting to, I wanted to. So we would say bendifuna ukufunda isiXhosa. I wanted to learn isiXhosa, or I wanted to study isiXhosa. Ubufuna ukuya edolopini. Did you want to go to town? Ebefuna ukutya inyama. He or she wanted to eat meat. You can also say ubefuna, but ebefuna is common. Besifuna ukuya emsebenzini. We wanted to go to work. Benifuna ukuya ekaya. Did you guys want to go home? Bebefuna ukusela amanzi. They wanted to drink water. So you might be wondering, like, why do most of these start with be, bendi, besi, beni, but then some of them don't, like ubu and ebe. So it's actually quite interesting. At least this is my personal take on it, like where it came from. I might be wrong here, but having studied some Setswana, I realized that this is very similar to the recent past in Setswana, where you would say, in Setswana you still use the personal pronoun twice. So you say, literally, I was, I do something, for I did something. So in Setswana, ke, ne, ke, une, u, etc. And this is very similar if you think that Setswana and isiXhosa are very related, right? Both being part of the Bantu language family. That in the past, I can imagine in isiXhosa, they also said, I was, I, for the past tense. So ndibe, I was, this comes from ukuba, to be. Ndibe, ndi, tlala, chess, or whatever. I was playing chess, I played chess. And this ndibe, ndi became bendi, because it's shorter, and everything tends to get shorter in language evolution. So ndibe, ndi became bendi, and then ube, u, you were you, and then the verb became ubu, just as a shortened form of ube, u. And that's why si, be, si remains besi, etc. And I can imagine that the ebe comes from the high pitch in ube, u, the third person having a higher pitch than the second person. So I can imagine that's why it became e, because of that high pitch, ebe. That's just a little side note. We're going to move on to the negated form of this tense. So you simply just add nga between your prefix for this tense, bendi, nga, and then you have to change the funa to funi in the negated ending of the I. Bendi nga funi. I did not want to. Ukufunda isiXhosa. I did not want to study Xhosa. Ubungafuni ukuya edolopini. Did you not want to go to town? Ebe ngafuni ukutya inyama. He or she did not want to eat meat. Besi ngafuni ukuya emsebenzini. We did not want to go to work. Beni ngafuni ukuya ekaya. Did you guys not want to go home? Bebe ngafuni ukusela amanzi. They did not want to drink water. The next thing we're going to look at is just simply putting some of these initial sentences that we learned into the past without even the modal verb, because this is quite interesting here. Again, in textbooks they don't really show you this because they want to classify the tenses very neatly, and this is the recent continuous, this is etc. And actually then they never talk about the fact that in isiXhosa, in spoken Xhosa, people combine this bendi, besi prefix with the e that we know from the simple past. So especially if you use verbs like to go, you're going to hear this much more than any other tense. You're going to hear izolo bendiye esikolweni. I went to school yesterday. This isn't saying I was going to school or something like that. It's just I went to school. Bendiye esikolweni. It's also correct to say ndiye, just the simple past, ndiye esikolweni, but the common way you would hear this is bendiye esikolweni, I went to school. Ubuye emsebenzini namhlanje. Did you go to work today? Uthando ebeye edolopini kusasa. Tando went to town in the morning. Besitye isonka. We ate bread. Beniyifunde incwadi. Did you guys read the book? Did you read it? Beniyifunde incwadi. Did you read the book? Bebesele amanzi ekhaya. They drank water at home. And to negate this, we simply add akhange and then the verb in its normal past tense form. So we would say akhange ndiye esikolweni izolo. I didn't go to school yesterday. Akhange uye emsebenzini namhlanje. Did you not go to work today? Akhange sisitye isonka. We didn't eat bread. We didn't eat it. Sisitye isonka. Khange niyifunde incwadi. Did you not read the book? Akhange ndisele amanzi ekhaya. I didn't drink water at home. So the other modal verb that we looked at was to be able to with ukukwazi, and in the past tense we're going to say kwazile. Ndikwazile ukuya emsebenzini izolo. So this is purely spoken Xhosa. This isn't very pure Xhosa. If you want to read a Xhosa book, you wouldn't read this in written Xhosa. But ndikwazile, I was able to ukuya emsebenzini izolo. I was able to go to work yesterday. Akhange ndikwazi, I was not able to ukuya edolopini, to go to town. Sikwazile ukufunda incwadi kusasa. We were able to read the book in the morning. Akhange sikwazi ukuphunga iti. We weren't able to drink tea. Bakwazile ukuya esikolweni. Were they able to go to school? And the last modal verb was kufuneka. We have to, one has to. And in the past this is going to become bekufuneka. Bekufuneka ndiye ekhaya. I had to go home. Bekufuneka sitye isonka. We had to eat bread. And to negate this, we add nga twice, in the middle and at the end. So you get bekunga funekanga ndifunde incwadi. I did not have to read the book. Bekunga funekanga niye esikolweni. Did you guys not have to go to school? Bekufuneka sifunde isiXhosa nesibhulu izolo. We had to learn isiXhosa and Afrikaans yesterday. I hope that you learned something there and that it's clear how these modal verbs are used in the past tense, negated, and in the affirmative. If you have any questions, write them in a comment below.